going, brother?
I am well. How are you?
Good. So
Good,
pretty
good.
much
Glad to hear it.
got him right where we want him.
Absolutely. Down one.
Back to our old ways against the worst team in the league, of course.
Oh, man. Never fails, hey?
What is the deal with these Canucks, eh?
It's starting to get pretty frustrating.
So what did you have any ups for the first period?
I had Demko looked the best he's looked in a while since his back spasms. That goalie didn't really have a chance. It went through about three guys. When they showed the replay there, they were all lined up in a line. And, I mean, good luck seeing that puck coming through all that traffic. What a great shot by Thompson there. But, yeah, overall, there's just way too many good chances from Buffalo happening right now. That has allowed Demko to kind of play well, but we obviously don't want that many equality chances being given up in a period, let alone a game. It's definitely not the intensity we had versus the Oilers. We need to find a way to energize ourselves to play the last place team the same way we play against a first place team or a playoff team. And this has been an issue all year. It's been a Canucks issue for since I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like I don't know why this happens. The second half of the period, the forwards were doing a better job of back checking and keeping the Sabres chances more to the outside. Except for obviously that face-off play where Thompson busted right to the middle and was able to get a good chance and bury it. But on our end of things, our offense needs to be a little more to the net like they were last time. A little too many plays where they are getting into the corner and then dumping it back to the blue line and the shots getting blocked, not enough shots getting through, not enough getting to the middle, need to generate more off the cycle or maybe more off the rush. It's just another one of those things. It's like we have a great game last game against the Oilers, and then we have this game tonight where it's like, come on, guys, let's get going here. This is a garbage team. You've had 2 days off. We all know the distractions are out there, but they've been there all year, so you cannot use those as an excuse anymore. Let's go. Someone needs to step up and be like, okay, this is my team. I'm gonna play this way, and it needs to be someone other than Quinn Hughes. He can only do so much from the blue line. Our best scoring chance was already generated by him again. We need our forwards to step up and start making things happen here.
Do you think they can use the flu as an excuse for tonight? Because it seems like it's going through the whole team right now.
Yeah, I guess. It depends how bad it is. Like, if you're dumping in your pants or like got a fever or you're really that sick that you can't play, then you're probably not playing like Lankinen, right? But the rest of the team, if you're healthy enough to lace them up, then you should be healthy enough to give quality effort. So, no, I don't think they can use that as an excuse. They have the majority of their team in the lineup. The only person they're missing really is Lankinen and then Myers from the suspension. So
maybe Myers is a bigger loss than we ever suspected.
well, it did cause a shuffle to the blue line, as you saw. We now have Friedman, an AHL guy, playing with Quinn Hughes. And we have Hronik trying to run his own pair, which we've talked about them trying to do possibly. But we didn't think a Myers suspension would cause that split. But here we are. So we need some stability throughout the pairings, and that's really the only way to generate that is by moving Hronik and Hughes apart and hopefully bridging the gap to when Myers is back.
Canucks stats for faceoffs were great. They were 60% in the faceoff dot compared to 40% for the Sabres. One stat that you don't usually see the Canucks trailing on, though, they actually got out hit 8-5 by the Buffalo Sabres in that period. That probably just is par for the course with the slow start, eh?
Yeah, slow start. I mean, you got to have the puck, or you got to be there quick enough to throw the hit, right? If you're not getting on the puck carrier fast enough and they're moving the puck too fast, you're not going to get your hits. So Buffalo did a good job of moving the puck fast early on in that period. And we'll see what the boys have when they come out in the second here.
Tage Thompson, big boy, 21 goals now in the year. That's someone you got to keep your eye on. So, but he got pretty open in that slot. Is it a forward breakdown there, or you think of more of a defense breakdown?
I think that was just a lost face-off play, off an icing. Again, just a really good shot that got through about 3 guys. If that hits one of those guys, we're not even talking about it. It was kind of a seeing eye shot to get through that much traffic, and Demko couldn't really see it. So, not necessarily a breakdown, just one of those things where Buffalo got their face-off play, they got their shot through, and it found the back of the net.
So you're thinking maybe the Canucks need to learn the rules? Off an
I think
icing,
that's
right?
it. I think that's it. Well, that one was a tough one because it did kind of carry him off of like Petey's foot. It wasn't a direct icing; it was a pass that didn't connect. So we'll give him a little pass on that one, but we should do a better job of winning the face-off when we encounter those situations.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the next topic. Myers and McDavid, 2 names that don't usually get put in a sentence together, but today they have. Can you give anyone who is living under a rock and don't know yet what is the news coming out? Obviously, with regards to McDavid and Myers, cross-checking different people in the face at the end of the game.
So obviously, we knew there was some supplemental discipline coming after the events of last game. Connor McDavid getting tangled up with Connor Garland at the end of that game in the slot, and then retaliating by cross-checking Garland in the face with a blatant cross-check right to the chops. A scrum ensued, and on the outskirts of that scrum, Evan Bouchard and Tyler Myers got tangled up a little bit, and Myers hit him with a cross-check to the mouth as well. So we ended up getting an even up suspension call, which I kind of suspected. I didn't expect it to be 3 games apiece. That seems a little bit excessive. However, I understand why they did it for 2 reasons. One, Myers was going to get whatever suspension they gave McDavid, first and foremost. That was just going to be evident. Secondly, McDavid kind of got away with a chicken wing elbow earlier in the week that a lot of people, after reviewing it in the slow-mo replay, looked pretty much like there was some intent there to make contact with the player's chin. As much as McDavid wants to deny it, he's the best player in the world. He has the best control over his body over any hockey player I've ever seen. So if he's going to catch a guy with a chicken wing, he's going to catch a guy with a chicken wing. So partly the player safety may be making up for missing that one and tagging him with an extra game. By giving them each 3 games, they now miss the rematch on Thursday, which, coming from the NHL, in their mind, maybe negates any major fireworks. However, given the reactions of the Oilers fans and organization, who knows what we're going to get on Thursday night. I've never seen an organization release a statement such as this when a player who commits an offense like cross-checking someone in the face and faces a justified and deserved 3-game suspension, to release a statement like this. The Oilers organization is disappointed, and we share in our fans' frustration over the 3-game suspension of our captain, Connor McDavid. We support him through this process, and the organization and our fans look forward to having him back in the lineup versus Seattle next week. They make it sound like he got cross-checked in the mouth and is out with a concussion or injury and needs some personal time. McDavid hasn't even spoken about this injury yet, which, again, I cannot get on board with that kind of poor me attitude. Many of the fans, many of the analysts out of Edmonton have been trying to justify his actions by saying, "Oh, Connor Garland was draped all over him and holding him and doing this and that." At no point is it justified to cross-check another player in the face. I don't care how frustrated you are. And I'm sitting here saying that Myers was absolutely deserved a 3-game suspension. He should not have done what he did. And Myers himself went on camera and did an interview and said, I wasn't really thinking in that moment. Kind of wanted to hit him lower, but things happen and I caught him in the mouth. That's on me. I shouldn't have my stick up there and I need to be more careful and I'll kind of accept whatever the player safety gives. And lo and behold, Monday comes around. Myers gets his 3-game suspension. Everyone moves on. All the Canucks fans say, "Yep, okay, Connor got one. Myers gets one. Let's move forward." But seeing all the talk out of Edmonton, you just realize why that organization is so hated by some of the other Canadian fans. To have that kind of entitled attitude where even your coach in an interview says that some frustration needs to be allowed in the league. To justify the actions of that player is just asinine. It's completely off the mark. It's completely idiotic. Just take your suspension and move on. For the things that Connor McDavid gets away with, the number of calls that guy doesn't get when he impedes someone, elbows someone, high sticks someone, he high sticks more people than I know in the league than gets away with it. And it happens a lot. There's a lot of replays online. There's plenty of video evidence. And for him to complain that the reffing is biased against him is a bit of the pot calling the kettle black, in my opinion.
I just saw a stat. He's drawn more penalties since 2015 than any other player in the entire league. So he's got nothing to stand on.
Yeah, this season is the only season they're complaining about. I think he's like 197th in the league or something.
Yeah.
Well, maybe everyone's kind of starting to catch on to your two-faced game.
Fuck McDavid. Oh, swear jar.
Whoa.
So Allvins did a little press conference. Everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna announce JT Miller's trade." It's like, no, he's just doing a mid-season review of the Vancouver Canucks.
Mm-hmm.
Took some questions. Was there anything that really stood out for you as like kind of like surprising or something you didn't expect to hear out of Allvins?
Not entirely. It was pretty much just checking the boxes, everything we expected. Very dismissive of any of the rumors, doesn't want to commit to any talking about any of the trades, doesn't really want to talk about Besser's contract or what's going on there. I was a little surprised that he again publicly called out Pettersson. Like, I get they're trying to get the guy motivated, but we've been told by many people that that's not really the way to motivate the kid. Um, Maybe they need to pump his tires a little bit. And he did try to do that, saying like he's really worked on his two-way game. And again, he is blocking shots out there and he was throwing some hits in the Edmonton game. So he is working on that. However, we really need his offense right now, and we need it in a bad way. So if he could figure that out, that'd be great. And I don't know what kind of support the organization needs to give him, whether that is finally completing a JT Miller trade or what. But yeah, we definitely need we need Petey to get going. Other than that, I wouldn't say there was much that he talked about that we don't really already know. Obviously, he was a little more supportive of the D core than we have been as fans and analysts and couch GMs. Which, to be fair, he does have a point. They have been riddled with injuries and haven't really had them all together. And we have seen what the team is capable of defensively. They've been able to shut down teams like Carolina, Edmonton, Toronto, these high-powered offenses, and also Florida there at home. So, the D is there, but we now need to couple that with balancing a proper offensive strike. And I don't know how they go about getting that, and I'm sure he is constantly trying to improve the team. I mean, that's his job as the general manager. However, I would have liked to hear a little more urgency in his voice or his approach to what the team needs. We definitely are not a playoff team at this present moment. However, with the right moves over the next couple of weeks, maybe that changes. He did say something that we had talked about with it making it difficult to make a trade right now, being that there's so much parity in the league. There's really only about 4 teams that would want to make trades right now, and when you have a player who has a no move clause and he doesn't want to go to one of those 4 teams, you're a little bit handcuffed. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks, but we might have to just suffer with some of this pain and flat hockey while they hammer out the locker room issues and personnel issues on the ice and off the ice.
The one thing I thought was interesting, because one of the reporters asked if anyone's an untouchable, right? Is there anyone on the roster that you wouldn't trade? And he's like, I'm not going to comment on specific names, but his job is always to listen. So he is taking phone calls on everyone, regardless. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be Quinn Hughes or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the way that Rutherford works, that's the kind of reaction I think you would get from Allvin, in that, if you make us a good offer, we're going to listen to it.
Well, and I hope that any GM in the league would do that. I mean, that would be your job. If someone picks up the phone and says, "Hey, our team's looking to make a change. We got these players available. What do you think?" You can't just be like, "Yeah, get out of here," and hang up.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd never have anyone to do business with if that's how you operated. I mean, you always have to have your phone ready, and you have to be willing to move guys, because that's the business, and that's how you make changes in this league. Is finding those dance partners. It's a hard league to trade in, so you can't keep the phone on silent. You got to be ready when a team's ready, and we'll see what happens. I know now there is obviously some shift of talk that it might be easier to move someone like Besser, given that the contract talks might be a little too far apart. But obviously, we will have to see what happens moving up to the trade deadline. Still a lot of hockey to play up till then.
Cool. We didn't get to the Abbey Canucks, but we'll save that for the post-game show, because we did have the one game on Sunday that we haven't updated. But until then, Dustin, enjoy the second and third period, and don't yell at me too much when I do the cheering in the second period, all right?
Sounds good. We'll discuss it in the post game.
Sounds good. Talk to you soon, brother.
Nothing is perfect.